All right, so now we're on page 13. These are your notes for the day. So far we've done just the general definition of a limit, and we did the power rule. So a power rule is, remember, when you just have one, 13x, whereas when you have one term and you just say it's a basic term for the function, and you do derivative of this, the derivative with respect to x is 26x. So you all seem pretty comfortable with that, so that's great. The next thing, so we started talking about this, and we did it with the table. Now, I'm not asking you to do the derivative. I'm not giving you a table yet. We'll start working a table later. So h of x is f of x times g of x. Okay. So you have negative 5x plus 1, and then 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. All right, so right now the only way we know to do this is to take and FOIL this out. So negative 15x to the third plus 10x squared minus 5x plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. So if I have all this, let's see, negative 5x cubed plus 13x squared minus 7x plus 1. So if this is the h of x function, if I have this, I know how to do the derivative. Okay, take the power, multiply the coefficient, so negative 45x to the second. Power times the coefficient, so plus 26x, and then minus 7. Now they give you some other stuff to do. Now we're going to be asked to find the derivative of f and multiply that with the original g function. So the derivative of f I know is negative 5, because I can do the derivative real quick of just that function. So if I'm doing that times the g, I do this, and so now I just distribute it. I get what? Negative 15x squared plus 10x minus 5. Fine. And if you compare what we have up here, this is kind of similar to what we have, some stuff that we already have up there. That's fine. Next, we're going to do the g function. Do its derivative, so we have what, 6x minus 2, and now I'm going to multiply that with my original f function, negative 5x plus 1, and I'm going to go negative 30x squared plus 6x plus 10x minus 2. Okay, so all this is like a little bit of derivatives, but basic, distributing, multiplying stuff out. These are saying take those two functions that you just did above, this one and this one, 15x squared plus 10x minus 5, and add to it this one, negative plus negative 30x squared. So when I'm adding, I don't need parentheses because all the signs stay the same. Okay, so when I do that, I get negative 45x squared. What do we get? 1026x minus 7. Ironically enough, this is equal to the h function derivative. All right, this is called product rule, and it looks pretty complicated, but there is a way to set it up so it's not so much. Okay. All right, so this happens when two things are multiplying. So skip. Did I not number these? Oh no. skip this page. Sorry, how did I miss that? Skip this page right now. This is showing you the e to the x function is also e to the x. And this also says commit these to memory. So this is what I was just talking about. E to the x is also e to the x. Derivative sign is a cosine. The reverse cosine is a negative sign. Alright, so back to product rule. When we are doing a couple functions together, I'm going to have an original function and its derivative. And then I'm going to have another function and determine its derivative. And what's going to happen is we are going to cross multiply them kind of. So I'm going to multiply these two together, and then I'm going to add going the reverse way together. Alright, so I'll go back to the table for a second. Go down here to number 3. Alright, so this is my f function, this is my g function. So the product rule is when you have two things multiplying, so 2x squared minus 6x, and then a 4x cubed minus 8. Individually, I'm going to do its derivative, f of x, so do little parts, so power rule 4x minus 6. The g function, do its derivative, 12x squared, and the negative 8 goes away. Now to do the power rule, I just take diagonally and multiply them. So I have 2x squared minus 6x, the f times the derivative of g, times 12x squared. Now add going the other way. 4x minus 6 and with the g, 4x cubed minus 8. And right now you can FOIL it all out if you want, but that's how we are going to leave it. Okay, so anytime you see multiplying, so two things like two parentheses like this, or if you see two things right next to each other, the first one, call it f, x cubed, and do its derivative. So 3x squared. The next one, call g, and do its derivative. Now set these up as you're going to cross multiply them diagonally, so it's x cubed times e to the x. Plus, go the other direction, 3x squared times e to the x. And that's all you have to do. Alright, so now back to our table here, because we went through and did some of these, but when we first did them, we only needed the derivative ones. So now when I'm doing, it told me that h of x was f of x times g of x. I need to get the f of x, so f of 1 and derivative of 1, and that the g of 1 and the g derivative of 1, because I'm always trying to find it for 1 here. Okay, so for 1, the f function is 2. Its derivative is the value 1. G is 1 and its derivative is 2. Now when you're asked to multiply them, just multiply the numbers diagonally, so 2 times 2 plus, go the other way, 1 times 1. So I get 4 plus 1, which is 5. So now is when we're going to start incorporating the original functions. So again, f, f prime, g, g prime. So if for 3, do 2, negative 1, and then the g is 1 and negative 2. Multiply diagonally, 2 times negative 2 plus negative 1 times 1. So negative 4 plus negative 1 is negative 5. Alright, that's it for today. Why don't you try I'll have it posted on Classroom. Talk to you later. Bye.